My name is Natasha and I am 40.
Hi, I'm Katie. I am 42.
I'm Carrie. I'm 46 years old.
I'm Lizzie. I'm 38.
Jane Regan King, 55 years old.
Welcome back to Interwovxn's fourth season, featuring conversations centered on life's essentials and on celebrating and supporting women in middle life. We are thrilled this season to exchange support with Melnick and Melnick SC. Melnick and Melnick SC is a law firm of women dedicated to supporting small business owners. They manage legal issues with collaborative solutions, cost-effective strategies, and up-to-date communications. Melnick and Melnick SC values women and entrepreneurs so much that in 2017, they started She Stands Tall, a community of women who learn from and inspire each other. Visit melnickmelnick.com and shestandstallmke.com for more information and to learn about future events. This week, cousins Natasha and Rosemary have a heart-to-heart about the importance of family, navigating perimenopause, experience with uterine fibroids, motherhood, self-care, and self-identity. A huge thank you to this season's featured musician, Gina Barrington. Remember to hit subscribe so you can be the first to know about new episodes, and visit our website to join the Interwoven community, receive newsletters and event information, access all of our resources, and to connect with us on social. Find us at interwoven.com. That's interwovxn.com.
My name is Natasha and I am 40. I will be 41 this year. Right now, I'm working at a company that supports women in menopause. I am the career and content representative for them. And so I work on their live shopping shows, which has been really a fun new thing that I've taken on. My zodiac sign is I'm a Gemini, which I love because I share that with my cousin, who I'm chatting with today, and my sister, and we shared it with our mama, which just makes me love it even more. So I'm really excited about that. And then my passion has always been fashion and travel.
I'm Rosemary, and I will be 44 in June, also a Gemini. So I am a proud mom of 2 adults and married for 26 years now to a very patient man. I am a medical assistant. I work for a cardiology office for Providence, and very happy and proud to be working here. Passions, food. I love food. Still trying to figure out what other passions I have. So
that's going to be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, and I feel like I need to figure out what else am I other than a mom and a wife. And so
I know we're supposed to start, but I just have to say, I also feel like you're also like all music and dancing and that vibrancy. So I've always seen that as you. And I love that's how we kind of connected when we were younger, because we didn't really hang out as much when we were really young. But I feel like once I was like 17, 18, it was like all over and we just connected on the dance floor. Music and partying was just our thing. So I kind of love that too, that we're connected through that. So I think we're going to start with something we'd never really talked about, which is when we started our periods. I started at 11. I always tell people I was so young, and now my eldest daughter is 12, almost 13, and she still hasn't started hers. And so I'm just always like, wow, I was so young. But when did you start yours, Rosemary?
I also started at 11, and I thought that was pretty young for starting as well, which is kind of scary to start and to think that 9-year-olds, your body is ready to have a child.
Seriously.
But yeah, being 11 and then puberty coming right after that, and being in 6th grade and the only one with like a C.
Whereas I've never had that issue, actually. I've always been the smallest, but nothing really transitioned for me. I just had cramps for a little bit. But I think it's interesting because going from 11, and then I never really got on birth control, but I never was able to stay up with that. I never even realized, should I try IUD? But in my mid-30s, I started to have really heavy bleeding to the point where I had anemia. I found out I had polyps and fibroids, and they kind of were like, here, you can use an IUD. And then since then, I've been on an IUD, and it's been so helpful. I just thought it was interesting because with you, it was kind of like the opposite.
Yeah, I did do the birth control pills, and those worked out perfect for me. I decided to come off of those, and I wanted to have a child. But then after my second one, I did decide the IUD was the best, so that, I didn't have to remember when to take or is it effective. IUD just seemed very 99%, So,
And it was so freeing for you, I feel like, right? It was like,
oh
because I
my
used to
God.
be so like, what am I missing out on? You and Erica would talk about it. It was like the cool thing. And I was like, what am I missing?
Yes, and along with the IUD came no more periods, basically. I no longer was bleeding.
But then you got yours taken out, right?
Yes, so had it taken out, had my daughter, second child, and then when I did get back on the IUD, I did end up also with fibroids on my uterus. Of course, I didn't know what this lump was that was on my stomach, coming from my stomach. It was just like this bump, and finally I went in, they said what they said, and they gave me the option. I think 40 at that time. So she said, we can go in, we can remove them, they could possibly come back, or you can have a hysterectomy and keep your ovaries. And then you just, you won't have to ever deal with them again. And, the possibility of having cancer, on the cervix or uterus is no longer there. So I was like, yes, please. Went ahead and did that. And it was just knowing that there's absolutely no possibility of getting pregnant is just mind blowing to me. It's just amazing.
It's freeing. I also had fibroids, but I found out I had fibroids in my mid-30s. It was only because of my heavy bleeding that I found out. It's because they had to do all of these tests, what's going on with her body. I had 3 different doctors, and none of them wanted to do a hysterectomy on me. And so I was just like, what's wrong? Like, my mom had a hysterectomy. I think by then I did know you had started thinking about doing it. And I was like, I want to get a hysterectomy. And they decided that they wanted to do an IUD on me. So that's what kind of was interesting with our story, was that we both had similar symptoms. I always share that story because I'm like, dang, it's so interesting. My mom, my cousin, and me all had fibroids, but
Yeah.
everybody was handled differently.
When you came and when you went and you spoke to your doctor, were you in the United States when they told you?
I had an American doctor at the embassy when it's happened, but I had also a Filipino doctor and an Indian doctor in Singapore. So I had 3 very different doctors. And that's why I was just like, I was begging them. I was like, why can't I get a hysterectomy? I was like ready to be done with this heavy, yucky bleeding that just wouldn't go away. And then when I had found out I had fibroids, I was like, yeah, let it go. Let it all go. But they didn't want to. And since IUD has been working, I'm just going with it for now, but they haven't seen any recurring fibroids or polyps. So far, so good. I just think it's interesting that our stories kind of crossed paths, but went in different directions. I'm wondering too, like, this is something I'm trying to figure out. And since they don't have a lot of studies on Black women, and since I work in perimenopause, I wonder if fibroids is a precursor to perimenopause. If there's like something in Black women that kind of starts the stage for perimenopause. Because I find that a lot of women that have had fibroids start having symptoms of perimenopause after. So I was just, I don't know, it's something I'm curious about. Did a hysterectomy make you start perimenopause or any kind of symptoms from that?
I don't feel like I've had any perimenopausal symptoms, honestly. I'm still looking for them. I'm wondering, it's a lot of information. I didn't think about these things. And so I never knew about the perimenopause, to be honest. I just was, I was just waiting for menopause to hit. And the only symptom that I was going to look for was hot flashes, and there's just so much more information out there, which is very comforting. Yeah, you just go through these emotional ups and downs and just different things, wondering and trying to figure yourself out. And I'm like, is this me or what is happening right now? Why is there a shift and questioning and all of this? And it's like, oh, maybe this is perimenopausal stuff, maybe still trying to figure all that out.
That's why I'm trying to connect it, I guess, to the fibroid thing. Because I'm like, that's when it all started going crazy. And I was like, I don't know if it was the fibroids. I don't know if it was a pandemic. I don't know. I'm just like all of these questions. And I still don't. I've gone to the doctor, of course, and she's checked my labs and everything's come back normal. So I'm just like, maybe it's a part of the transition. Things start to go off and change, and become different. So I'm just like, I'm always trying to put 2 and 2 together. But my mom even said that she never had any kind of perimenopausal experience after getting her hysterectomy. So I'm like, I really won't know what's going on. What is our hand going to be in this?
I'm looking forward to it. It is what it is.
I know, that's what I see too. I think it's going to be, I mean, not exciting, but it's just like puberty or pregnancy. It's something that we're
Right.
going to experience, go with the flow and let it happen. I'm not really like one of those ones who's like, I don't want to get older. I don't want to share my age. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I forget how old I am, to be honest.
I've earned my stripes, right? Like I've
Yes,
been through it.
yes.
I have a grown family. Like
I love that.
I can't say I've got a 25-year-old and tell people I'm 32. I've got to own my 30s. Hey, I worked hard to get here, so
Definitely.
I'm really proud. I'll let you know this is my age. Respect me.
Yes. Respect this 40-year-old. I've worked to get here. A big part of my identity is military. My dad was, as you know, military man. He was in the Navy. My husband is now in the Air Force. So I have like traveled my entire life and been a part of a military world my entire life, which is still so crazy to me because I did say I was not going to marry a military man to my dad. So it's just funny that I did, but it's always helped me to kind of transition easily when I move around and meet new people. And I found that no matter where I've moved, I've had to get a new job, which for the first time I'm not going to have to do, which is kind of exciting because of the pandemic. I have a job that's remote. And so I'm excited to see where that goes, not having to scramble to search for a new job and start applying for stuff and all of that. So that's kind of exciting. And then my last thing that I've thought was just that, where's my home? And my home has always been Portland, Oregon. The red house, my mama and papa's home, has always been the place that I've called home. And it's just a beautiful space for me. No matter where I go, I come back to this home. And that's just always been so amazing to me. And I know all of us have had a chance to live there. Most of us, I think, grandkids, the kids, we've all had a chance to live there. And I just think that's so beautiful to have that history. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
I definitely can understand that and feel that. And I can't imagine it not being part of our lives anymore. So hopefully that house will always remain definitely
I hope
always in
so.
our heart. Wow. I guess the first thing I feel like I've just always wanted to be a mom. And that was the first thing I wanted when I got married. When we got married, I said, I want kids now. And I just always wanted to be a mom, and that was just the most important thing, and still is the most important thing to me. But with them getting older, it's just I'm getting to that point where I'm like, okay, so what is my identity now? Of course, a wife. I don't know. That's always been kind of loosely in my head. Being a mother has always been number one, and then the wife thing kind of just comes with it. It's a 2-for-1 special. So that's kind of a rough question for me. What is my identity? I don't know. First thing is mom, and so I guess I'm just still trying to figure that out.
I mean, I didn't even put down my mothering. It's like, yeah, they are here. They are here. And I didn't work for, gosh, was it 8 years or something? I feel like you did that too, right? After the kids were born, I remember you didn't work for a while too.
Yeah.
So I took some time off and just was mommy, which was
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. I felt really lucky to do that. And I still remember I tried after I had Sahara, I'd gotten a job and I was so excited. And I was like, I can do this. I can work and be mom. And then I remember I put her down. They wanted me to go do something. And I had her with me. They were like, of course, you can bring your kid with you. And then I left her. And the whole time when I left her with these people I just started working with, I was like, what am I doing? I was like, is it going to be kid or is it going to be work? And so that at that point, I was just like, you know what? I can't do this. And I quit. And I was really happy with that decision just because I was able to have one-on-one with my kids for that long. But I thought I could do both. And some women do. Some women can. And it's amazing. But I just really am appreciative that I got to just be a mommy.
Yeah, definitely something I feel very fortunate as well. I can't imagine juggling the way people do. It's just amazing. And
even like you, when you were in Phoenix and you were by yourself, I mean, I look back because we had kids at different times and I got to see when you'd done things and, look back on that when I was having my kids, and you did it all by yourself in Phoenix too. And I'm just like, gosh, it's so hard when you don't have family around.
No, yeah, I was a little depressed out there, away from everything, friends and family, and just, the kids, and, the husband was working all the time. And then I also had my niece. So really I had 3 kids with me all the time.
Yes.
But, stayed busy, kept it pushing, and some really great years out there with the kids. That's the most memorable for them.
And we will be right back with this interwoven discussion. Hey, it's Teresa. Today's episode highlights Joy Ice Cream Social, a Milwaukee-based, woman-owned business opening this summer, June of 2023, and located at 8334 West North Avenue in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. In addition to ice cream and sweets, this new ice cream shop serves charcuterie boxes, wine and beer, and cold brew and floats. Make sure to put this on your summer calendar. Find them on Instagram or at their website, joyicecreamsocial.com. Interested in hearing your business advertised on the Interwoven podcast? Contact us at hello@interwoven.com. That's INTERWOVXN.com.
It's crazy because we were both out here, but at the beginning of it, I was like 24 with no kids. So of course my world was hanging out and partying still. And then all of a sudden I had a kid and I was like on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I look back and I was like, dang, we were at different points in life.
You and your sister, you guys are always, I could always depend. Like, you guys are my family, my people.
Family blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I've loved too, like going back to like how we were always gone, military, and then we'd come back and we'd reconnect. And mainly as adults, it was always nice because no matter what, we'd come back and it would be like we haven't left each other. And now that we have social media, it's even better because it's just like we might not be able to talk every day like we're doing right now, which is so amazing. But it was always good just to know that I could just text you anything and I could just write you. I could say stupid stuff and it wouldn't matter, but it was still, somebody I could just go to anytime, get things off my chest. Yeah. Friends, it's hard to stay connected, but family, it's just, you don't have to start over.
And that's what I love, where we don't have to say, hi, how are you? Hey, I was just wondering, like we don't have to do that. Like, no. Just get to the point, like, hey.
Yes, it's like family, marriages, and all of that. How long have I been married? I think it's going on 17 years, but I'm so bad at this. And then my eldest child is 12. And then I have my twins that are 10. Yeah, we do a lot of moving, of course. We've traveled, let's see, the longest we've lived somewhere is Tucson, where I'm at right now. It's been, I think it's going on like 10 years, the longest place I've ever lived anywhere. We lived in India, Kansas, the Philippines, and now we're headed to DC in June. It's just nice because we are still close with all of our family, which I'll keep saying. He's close. We're close with his family. We're close with my family. So it's just nice that the kids, even though they're not next to everybody at all times, they still love their family. And like anytime there's a picture or a video or something they see, they all get excited. And I love that. And I love that they're always excited to go back and visit Portland. Now our family's my husband's family's in North Carolina, or hopefully we'll be going back to India to see family because we haven't seen them in a long time. No matter where we are, we just love going and seeing all of our family. I have to say with my husband, it's nice that my kids are older now, because it's allowed us to start doing date nights and the kids can stay home, which is really big for us. It's hard moving and finding people you can trust to watch them. Mm-hmm. And so that always becomes like a damper with our many traveling, locations and not being with family. And so that's been really nice to be at that point in our life.
I feel so fortunate to have a great relationship with my kids. And I think because it's just such an important thing for me. So I kind of adjusted my personality, and which isn't hard to do, being that I'm a Gemini, just able to kind of, you just kind of maneuver a little bit, and so that other people are a little more comfortable and it's not an issue. It's not like I'm holding anything back. It's just, I try not to depend on them for my happiness, but seeing them happy and healthy makes me so happy. It's like anything else could be happening, but if I've got a relationship with those two, I'm a happy camper. I can take on anything. You know what I mean?
I really want to have that connection with my kids like you do, where they can tell me anything and talk to me. And yeah, we're going to go through that headbutting thing, but I just really hope that after that portion, it's going to still be, you can come to me for anything. When I was younger, I remember I used to go to Auntie Des and Uncle David, and I really get that vibe that Harper is going to be the one to want to go to you, and I'm going to love it. I'm just going to really, really love that time. But I don't want to trigger myself to cry, but one that I had written down was for us to talk about our relationship with our mama, who recently passed. And I mean, both of us are very close to our mama. Days like this, I would have loved to have called and told her what we are doing. So it's just things like that I always loved calling and telling her stuff. And just chatting with her on the phone. And I love that you sent me a handwritten letter recently, because that's something I still have a lot of the ones Mamaw sent me and ones that I sent her when I was a little girl, which I love that I have that. But I just love interactions like that kind of remind me of our relationship with her.
Being that, the red house is just 10 blocks away. I pass by it almost every day. She's been gone for a year now. It just is so hard to know that I can't just turn over down her street and just go chat with her for a minute, or just stop by to give her a hug. You really don't realize it until you really just don't have it anymore. I love also that she is in a peaceful place, and so I think about that, so it brings me more of a smile when I think of her. My Snapchat's always bringing up old stuff, and I used to sit there and I would just record her talking, and she wouldn't even know that I was recording. I just wanted to record her just to hear her stories, and watch her, her mannerism, and she's just so cute, and she just held everything down. It was definitely good while we had her, and hopefully my grandkids and my family will feel the way that we do for her. For me,
I love that.
We strive to have that connection. I really hope that's at the end of the day, I want to be that one, that you can come to me. I'm going to give you my opinion, but I'm going to love you at the same time. So that's what I strive for.
So the main thing for me that's essential is family. That knowing no matter what, no matter where I am, like I can get somewhere and it will just seem so stressful, so crazy, and I can't find a job, I can't find a house, all the things, or looking for a school for the kids now that I'm older. I like that no matter what, I can come back to my family, and call my mom, text you, or, instant message you, or I love to look at your Snapchat. Like, it makes me feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm not, I like to know that no matter what, I can just be there with you guys. So I think it's no matter what, it's always family for me. It means a lot when we go back as a family to see my family or to see Kabir's family, anything. I mean, I love to know I'm connected to my family no matter what. And that's just essential for me.
Yeah, I think I'll have to jump on that. Essential, like your family, the family, my family. I mean, I think I've definitely talked about it enough to where that's just my thing. And I've thought about, well, why am I giving myself a hard time trying to figure out what else? Why can't that just be? It's okay for my family to be my main essential to happiness. I feel like that's what I was put on this earth for, was to have kids and to just be with them and grow with them and see where they're going to grow and what they're going to do. I don't want to forget about what I like. I still live and I still enjoy everything. When it comes down to it, that's my main thing. That's what gets me up in the morning. That's what keeps me going. Even though the kids say they're not going to have kids, if they ever do, let me tell you, I'm going to be the best grandma you'll ever see. Oh, I'll wait. No rush.
You know what I just thought of that we didn't talk about that's essential for both of us, that is a part of our perimenopause experience and midlife? Health and wellness.
Oh.
We both are very big on our workouts. I love seeing when you do it. I love, encouraging when I see you go, because you actually go to the gym, which is something I've never been able to do. I know in the past I've gone when we're in the same town. I go with you to the gym sometimes. It was hard with little kids, as you remember. It was so much drama. But I think you're amazing because you're always able to get to the gym. You make the time and effort to go. So I think I wanted to share about that. And I, on the other hand, it's always been easier for me to do something from home. I mean, I tried when I was younger, I'd go to the gym with my mom and my sister, but I wasn't that committed to it. In college, I tried a little bit as well, but I wasn't as committed still. And then I think it was after I had Sahara and I gained 70 pounds or something. And I swear I wasn't eating like crazy, but I packed on a lot. I found that running 3 miles 5 days a week was my jam. That was how I was going to get the weight off. And it worked. From there, I increased my running to 5 miles. And that was just the easiest thing. Like after I had twins, I would leave the kids with Kabir in the morning at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So it's something crazy. And then I would go and run because that was the only time I had before, he went to work and I'd be at home all day. Mm-hmm. So that was like the only thing I did for years. once again, going back to perimenopause, I was here in Tucson. It was like 2 years ago. I was working out, doing the same thing I always did, and nothing was happening. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm not trying to lose weight. I've always been very consistent, just staying the same weight. I went to a nutritionist and she was like, you know what? You need to try HIIT. You need to do 1 day yoga, 1 day weight training. And since then, my weight went down, my cholesterol and my prediabetes went away, and it's been really good. And I've been sharing this with my job too, that during a certain point in life, it's like your lifestyle has to change. Like even if I did these workouts, like I was running, like that's all I did. I didn't want to bulk up because I'm already a quote unquote thick girl and I was scared of getting bigger. So I was like, okay, this just keeps it cool. I can eat whatever I want and I'm just going to run. But then that changed around 38 and I was like, nope, can't eat whatever I want. And I have to do this new workouts plan and it works. So I'm happy and I still just stay active. But how has it gone for you?
Yeah, definitely health is really, really important for me just because, my mom's Guatemalan. She's 4'11", just this little tiny thing. She's always struggled with her weight. And I just always remember her talking about her Popeye arms and just seeing her always covering her stomach whenever she sat down. And so, there's certain things you just kind of remember.
Yeah.
And so that always stayed with me. I'm like, I don't want to have Popeye arms. But also in the family, it just seemed, your mom and my mom both always had knee problems. And that could also have to do with the sickle cell anemia that runs in the blood. Having that trait and I just fear for my knees. And I don't want to have knee surgeries. That's my main focus. Along with getting older and working in the heart business, seeing people that didn't take quite as good care of themselves and ended up with certain diseases and just things that I feel are preventative unless they're genetic. And I don't want to complain about these things later when I was aware and I knew and didn't do anything about it. Growing up, I always had a really fast metabolism. So I could eat anybody out of house and home. No problem, no issue. I mean, I wouldn't gain not a pound, and then even after the kids, I was 115, so I was just a skinny little thing running around eating whatever I wanted. And then Mama used to always say, well, okay, it's all fun and games. It's going to hit you. You're going to hit 30 and it's going to hit you. It's going to stick. Well, it didn't stick. And I still was doing whatever I wanted. But then later on, probably 38, 39, it was like, oh, this isn't coming off. Certain things are sticking. So then and then my cholesterol was getting a little, because that's also runs in my blood on my mom's side, the high cholesterol. I was like, whoa, I need make some permanent changes. So I make it a priority. I make it a priority to go to the gym instead of it being an option now. Like, hey, do you want to go out? Sure. But after I go to the gym, priority, it is my self-care. It is my therapy, because otherwise I'm always thinking. And this is the only way that keeps me from thinking. I try to be encouraging to others. I want to be an example to my kids and people around me so that they can see, look, you can have this much energy too. Like I'm bouncing off the walls until like 10 o'clock at night. Like I have energy for days and I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I love that you said that it's like therapy, because I do the other thing. If I don't work out, I get angry. It's like I get hangry. You get angry when you don't eat. I get angry when I don't work out. Like I could tell my emotions change. I'm like a different mood if I haven't worked out in a few days.
For me, I feel like I get depressed. And I don't like to use that word loosely. It's not a clinical thing, but I can feel that I'm just sad and I just feel lost. And then I start wondering what my purpose is. And I just, nothing really gives me joy. And then I'll be like, hold on, I haven't gone to the gym in like 4 days.
You know what my favorite thing is, going another kind of way to do a workout, I guess, is that I love that on the weekends you guys go for walks. I can't wait to live somewhere so Kabir and I could just go for a walk.
And I definitely miss it. It just gives the opportunity for open mic talk, just chatting about whatever. The conversation never goes dry. There's always something to talk about when you're walking.
I think this is the longest we've talked in a long time, one-on-one, just like seeing each other and chatting on a phone. And I've kept my kids quiet, which is nice.
No, this is good. And really, we should put me on your calendar. Let's make this a thing, once a week, touch base. It doesn't have to be more than 15 minutes, but just make eye contact. And
You know what this just made me think of? How Mama and Papa always called their siblings once a week. How you just said that. We're the next generation of weekly calls.
there you go. Pass it on. Love you.
Thank you for doing this. I love you.
Thanks for joining us today. We invite you to give us a star review and to hit subscribe for a new empowering conversation each week. Visit our website where you'll find our newsletter, event dates, and other amazing resources. Visit interwoven.com, that's interwovxn.com, to sign up today. This show's copyright is summer of 2023. We want to thank Melnick and Melnick for their support this season. Our Interwoven producers are Teresa Kopak, Rebecca Jankowski, and Jen Gilmore. All original music was created and performed by Gina Barrington.